Welcome to At Home and Abroad with Harrison Walker. Join us each week as we explore the far reaches of the globe in search of unique characters and stories to share. Reach beyond your front door and let's chat about art, architecture, history, real estate, and of course food. Let's jump in. Tis the season to be cozy. As the snow begins to fly and the first of the winter storms begin to track their way across the northern climes, we all seek refuge in our homes for warmth and comfort. But what is this feeling that we call cozy? Is cozy found in candles, carpets, and cocoa? Or is it found in the comfortable togetherness experienced in the dark quiet of winter? Do we all crave coziness? How can it be defined? Join us as we chase the concept of cozy in conversation all the way to the home of hygge, Copenhagen, Denmark, where we will chat with our guest, Skyler Rowland, proprietor of the much-loved Next Door Café. Let's wrap ourselves in that wool blanket, grasp that hot cup of cocoa, and get toasty as we explore the contented and the comfortable world of cozy. Okay, I admit it. I'm crazy about cozy. I know I'm not alone, though. Apparently, between November 2019 and 2020, keywords relating to living cozily increased 46% in the UK and 11% in the US. And Pinterest declared cocooning one of its top trends for 2021. And hygge was a finalist in the 2016 Oxford Dictionary's Word of the Year. Hygge is Danish for a quality of coziness and comfortable conviviality that engenders a feeling of contentment or well-being. Clearly, there has been an increased preoccupation with getting cozier in recent years.
Absolutely. I think I've always been preoccupied with getting cozy, but I'm sure this has only increased during the pandemic.
I would think so. With more people working from home, I would think people are wanting to ensure that the environment in which they spend a good part of their day is as comfortable and inviting as possible. Mm-hmm. And for those, those that work outside their home, ensuring home is a safe haven for when they return at the end of the day must be a great priority.
Absolutely. It totally makes sense.
Environmental psychologist Lily Bernheimer, who is also the author of The Shaping of Us, How Everyday Spaces Structure Our Lives, Behavior, and Well-Being, explains that humans innately are drawn to the natural world. It's called biophilia.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And although the greatest positive impact comes from spending time outside, she stated that when you look at the window and see a tree, the simple view is something natural has the ability to sharpen your concentration, to make you more focused, and at the same time to relieve stress, to actually have a physical impact on blood pressure and the circulation of stress hormones.
Wow.
Yeah, Bernheimer also attributes positive effects to being in contact with natural elements such as fire, wood, and wool, and even if it's in the form of candles, being in a cabin, or being wrapped in blankets.
Well, check. That's my definition of cozy right there, Walker.
Yeah, I agree. I love all three of these things. Now, there is another theory as well, which refers to a human preference for the safety of small, cave-like spaces which open onto bright, clear views, which allow for observing potential threats or positive opportunities.
Wow, that's so cool. That reminds me of how my cottage feels to me in the wintertime, because it's all cozy on the inside, right? Under the blankets, beside the fire, but you're looking out the window across snow-covered trees and ice.
That's a really good example. It's actually called the prospect and refuge theory, and it seems that humans may be hardwired for craving cozy. Yeah, cozy has become big business these days as the concept of hygge has really captured people's attention. Cozy has become a lifestyle, an interior design motif, and has grown way beyond flannel pajamas, scented candles, and fluffy blankets. The hygge lifestyle embraces togetherness and appreciation for simple pleasures throughout the winter months.
Simple pleasures. I love that. Perfectly put.
Yeah. Helen Russell, who is the author of The Year of Living Danishly, identifies hygge as taking pleasure in the presence of gentle, soothing things, which could include a freshly brewed cup of coffee and cashmere socks even.
And considering that the Danes are said to be some of the happiest people in the world, I'm willing to follow their lead and embrace the hygge lifestyle 110%.
Oh, I'm right there with you, babes.
Yeah, especially since Danish Mike Viking, the founder of the Happiness Research Institute of Copenhagen, attributes the Danes' high level of happiness to hygge.
But the Danish aren't the only people in the world with a special appreciation for all things cozy, right? I mean, we have a pretty good handle on it here in Canada.
You are correct. Other countries such as Germany have their version as well. Like in Germany, it's Gemütlichkeit. Norway has Kuschelig. The Netherlands has Huzelig. Sweden has Musik. And Scotland even has their own called Kosakoch.
Wow, you did that really well.
I know.
Those were
I was
all
afraid.
Were you? I could tell you tensed up before approaching all of those words. But that is a whole lot of cozy. Iceland too has a lot of cozy going on. I love their concept of window weather.
Ooh, window weather. What is it? I've never heard of it.
Well, the word is glukavetish. When you look out the window and it's one of those sparkling bluebird days with the gorgeous blue sky, but in actuality, it's too bloody cold to even step a foot outside your front door. That is window weather. It's better to stay cozy inside and appreciate it from the couch with a hot cup of tea.
Yeah, that reminds me of some of the days in Winterpeg growing up.
Yes, Winterpeg.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's the staying inside part that I really think sounds wonderful.
It does. But is cozy the same no matter where we go?
They do have subtle differences, in fact. And Carrie Leibovitz, a Stanford psychology professor, stated that Norway's Kuschelig is actually a mindset of making the best out of a bad situation. And it's connecting with the opportunities of this moment for greater reflection and deeper meaning and social connection. It also involves connecting with others in nature. The outdoor aspect apparently is a difference between it and hygge. So let's get some clarification from someone who is living the hygge dream.
We are excited to introduce our guest, Skyler Rowland, owner and proprietor of the very well-loved and very cozy Next Door Café in Copenhagen, Denmark. Welcome, Skyler.
Thank you very much, Heather and Lauren.
So I understand it's your 10th anniversary of operating this beautiful little gem of a cafe. So how are you celebrating that?
Well, the anniversary was December 1st, so just a few weeks ago. And that day we kept it really low key. And then my partner, Klaus, who I opened the cafe with, he was in Copenhagen. And so we thought, let's do it while he's here and I'm here at the same time because it doesn't happen much. Okay. So we had a party on the 17th where we did homemade eggnog and snickerdoodles and hygge. Yeah, a lot of
hygge.
Cozy times. So it was not a big, I'm not big into big parties. I like more small, intimate. So it was perfect. We had a really nice time and glided into the 10th year.
Yeah, the 10th year. That's pretty remarkable for a cafe, right? A small business. It's tough.
Copenhagen cafes, it's, like changing your underwear. They're in, they're out, they're in, out. I mean, it's really a lot of change in the cafe scene here in Copenhagen. So yeah, for us, I mean, 10 years, it's like becoming a little institution, which I'm proud of. So it's very exciting.
Well, when I was researching your cafe, it popped up on some major platforms like TripAdvisor and Lonely Planet, and just among other travelers and tourists in the world. So it's become a destination. So what do you think eggnog would definitely get me there, homemade eggnog and snickerdoodles, but what's your secret, do you think?
I think it's because we're an all accepting cafe. It doesn't matter if you're old or young, if you're blue, green, or yellow, if you're gay, straight, or whatever else you want. It doesn't matter. We just want to spread love. And it sounds really corny. I know that. But that's the truth from my heart is when I created the place was to make a place to spread love and be nice to each other. We have a sign coffee machine that says be nice or leave, which is from a Louisiana artist, actually. Oh. And it's the one piece of advice that we give to our customers. Yeah. Be nice, leave. If you can't do it, and in 10 years, I've had one person who said, I can't do it. And I said, the door is right there. Yeah. But that's it. 1 in 10 years, pretty good record. So if people come for this experience of having brunch while at a party, as weird as that may sound, but that's kind of the vibe, the energy that we have going on is because we're having a good time. I mean, I've done my professional jobs, I've been in corporate America, I've done all that, and I realized I was successful by American standards, but
Right.
not successful by the gauge of happiness.
Yeah.
So when I gave it all up, I said, you know what? If I do a job and not enjoying myself, then I'm stopping. And
Yeah.
that I've said it since we opened the cafe 10 years ago. The day it's not fun is the day we close because
Right.
I'm not going to do a job that I'm miserable at. I love working. I think it's the greatest.
Well,
So
and then that all, gets transmitted and you give that out to the people who come into your cafe. And that's probably why, or one of the reasons why you're so successful, because they feel that genuine caring and that genuine outpouring of love.
yeah, yeah, no, they become part of our family for the day or the week if they're staying for a week or however long. They become part of the family. And customers, they seem to love it. Yeah, after the first few months, people started putting tokens and reminders and drawings and things under the glass because they're old doors with glass covering them. And suddenly there was currency from every nation, and
Wow.
that also really helped drive this. I think drive this interest by tourists because it's like, oh, this really funny place with a mix of locals and tourists, and we can leave a note and this and that, and customers come up and ask for paper and pins, and we want to leave this, or I got this for you.
I love
So
that.
there's really international vibe that goes around the cafe. I mean, the Danish people come in speaking English, which
Oh,
is
really?
silly, really silly. And I look at them and I'm like, why are we speaking in? Oh, I thought we're supposed to speak English here. I'm like, we're in Denmark. We speak Danish. It's fine. It's cool. But you hear when you come into the cafe, you can hear, six, seven, eight different languages at the same time. So it's just this
Amazing.
melting pot of love, of people coming and having a great time.
Skylar, I gotta tell you, you're selling it to me. I need to go. I love a melting pot of love
I
and
mean,
a place where you're having brunch and it's a party. Like
I
that
mean,
is
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. No, I mean today, Neil Diamond, Sweet Caroline,
Yeah.
Sweet Caroline came on the music, and people were singing along in the cafe, and they were just having such a good time.
And we
So
need that so much more, I think, than ever before to feel a part of a community and to be able, even if you're a lone person going into your cafe, you can still feel like you're part of that social fabric of community and love. In my opinion, Skylar, it's a huge service that you're doing, not only
thank
to
you.
the community that you live and work in, but also for everybody who can come there and leave their mark under the glass and just feel like they're a part of something bigger than just themselves. That's
Yeah.
huge.
No, I mean, people, I always tell people when they're by themselves, here, sit with, it's busy a lot. So it's like, you sit with this person, they're by themselves too. Maybe, who knows? You see people I had a guy, he ended up going out all night that night with a group of girls he met from Bolivia,
Oh,
Danish guy. And then he went somewhere traveling with them recently. And it was all just from sitting at a table by himself and these girls sitting down and started talking and ended up having such a great evening and new friends. And so yeah, it doesn't matter if you're by yourself or with a group. It's you're bound to make connections.
yeah, you should write a book. I can
i've st-
totally see a book out
I,
of this.
I've started it, but
Get
then
out.
it's been a life, it's supposed to be a life story. But I mean, I wish I could say that I've always had this situation, but I changed, 22 years ago, switched from living the more conventional life to living more a life, uh, what I've read in self-help books, because I realized I was reading them and not living them.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's a different time, different place.
It pays off to follow your heart, and it's something I think we learn with some people learn it sooner in life than later, but we do learn it with experience and wisdom that happiness, or that maybe not even just happiness, because that can be fleeting, but contentment in yourself comes with following your own passion and your own drive and in service of others. I really do believe.
Yeah, no, I think it's all about love.
It's all
Everything.
about love. It's all
All
about
about
love, baby. That's it.
people always are like, wow, your menu is really simple. I'm like, yeah, it may be simple, but it's all done with a lot of love. And they come, you pick up their plates and they're like, oh my God, it was the most amazing eggs and bacon. You're like thinking to yourself, it's eggs and bacon. Come on. We didn't reinvent the wheel here. We're not
Yeah.
doing anything tricky or special. We're just doing it with some love put in.
That's the secret sauce,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? The secret ingredient. Your cafe, the Next Door Cafe, has been described by the Lonely Planet as eclectic, loud, and cozy. And
Yes,
cozy, as you know, is the theme of this particular episode. And you mentioned hygge. Am I pronouncing that right?
yes.
Okay.
Very well
So,
done. Very well
okay. Thank you. I've been practicing.
done.
So how does your cafe give that vibe? I mean, obviously community and that love vibe definitely contributes to cozy, but sort of aesthetically, give our listeners an idea of how you can describe it as cozy.
Well, I do what I'm not supposed to do, which in this case was taking a dark cellar cafe. Well, it was a pizza restaurant, and everybody telling me it needs a lot of light. You need to make it bright and cheery. And as an American moving to Denmark and hearing about hygge and seeing cafes here, I thought, you people don't know you don't know how to do hygge. I'll show you what hygge is. And
Right.
I painted the cafe aubergine, a dark, deep beige.
Mm,
So it's really dark. It's really
gorgeous.
dark. If you remember lighting that Abercrombie and Fitch used to do, this really dark space with very direct lighting on their tables. And so I was just lighting up the tables and keeping the rest of it really dark because it actually makes the space look bigger. I mean, and then just putting my personality into the cafe with, there's an altar at the cafe that's got every religion possible is there. It's all about equal love, and let's not worry about titles. Let's just and I did it all with the idea of I'm going to stand here for 10, 12 hours a day by myself or with Klaus. I want to make it comfortable for me and cozy for me. So I
Mm.
created it that I thought was cozy. And suddenly all the people started coming and they were like, wow, this is really cozy. I was like, I'll show you. You put some candles in a dark space and the right lighting, you can create cozy, you can create hygge. It's not hard. The Danish people always joke about, you need a bottle of wine and a candle to create hygge. I'm here to show you, you don't need any alcohol. You can create so much hygge just by creating a warm, what's embracing is the word I was looking for, a warm, embracing environment where people
Hmm.
feel welcomed.
Yeah. Yeah. I think feeling safe and warm is a really critical idea behind cozy.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when you think of cozy, you think of climbing under the duna, the
Mhm.
under the comforter and being warm and cozy in bed. And it's like you can have that same feeling somewhere else. And Denmark thought they had mastered hygge, and I decided to turn them upside down a little and go against everything because it's so not Danish in its style. The cafe, it's
Really?
really really not Danish. It's like people usually say it reminds them of Paris, Berlin.
Mm.
Um, those are kind of the cities that they say that they've been to a place that reminds them of this. So it's very unique. It's really out of the norm of Copenhagen.
I love that. So, our expectation in talking to an owner of a Danish cafe, a cozy Danish cafe, would be that it really reflects the typical hygge, but really it's an American transplant in Danish who's showing them how to do it.
Exactly. In my humble opinion, I think so because
Yeah.
it is the cozy. Of course, I love the cafe. It's my heart. But I think it's the coziest place ever. And I mean, I have employees who've worked there from 10 years ago who still, when they're in the neighborhood, they still come by to hang out. And because we always say, just because you stop working there, you'll always be part of the family. So, and they know it's a safe, cozy place to be.
Yeah.
So,
It's a
yeah,
refuge. It's a
it's
refuge for people.
it, is. For me, it was kind of like creating a safe space for myself as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I love my partner to death, and he's the greatest. But knowing that there's this safe, warm place, especially with the long winters here, it's
Hmm.
just critical for my well-being and mental health in
Yeah.
Denmark. So I'm very blessed, I must say.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it.
You've described the Next Door Cafe as being built on love, and I can't think of anything better. And after listening to what you have to say, I clearly know where your longevity has come from. It's this whole idea of love, which
Yes.
we don't see that often. And we know that your customers love you. In terms of love and your staff, tell us a little bit about that, what the love is like there.
I mean, yeah, they're very near and dear to the heart because
Yes, so
without,
they feel it too, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, there's a lot because I mean, I'm no fool. Without them,
Mm,
the wheels don't turn. I mean, we need a minimum of 3 people to work and 5 on the weekends in the
wow.
morning hours. And it's a
Okay.
tiny place with seating for 25, 30 people. So it's a lot of employees. No, they are critical, and I'm really big into, you get more out of people with positive reinforcement than you do with negative consequences. Of course, I point out when they're, especially when they're new, even when they're old, I point out when things are not right. I can be a boss, but I've really put my focus on pointing out the things they do well and give them the sense of ownership of the cafe. Because, in my opinion, when I'm not there or Klaus, my partner's not there, it's their cafe. I mean, they're in charge. I'm not there. They have to make decisions. So I think that also helps them to feel that love and
Mm.
to want to pass it on to the guests. I mean, I'm in Copenhagen 2 weeks out of each month. And those 2 weeks I work every day, but the other 2 weeks I'm not here. And people, when I first decided to make this change, people said, "Oh, it won't work, Skyler, not without you there." No, 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 no. Of course, my staff is amazing. They love the cafe. I mean, it means the world to them. So they carry on just as if I was there right along with them. So they're amazing,
Oh,
amazing.
wonderful. So I want you to be shameless here. Tell us
Yes.
why we should get our holiday cozy on at the Next Door Cafe.
Why? I mean, it's really interesting because people have asked, they're like, "Oh, aren't you going to decorate for Christmas?" And because everybody thinks Christmas and hygge go together, and I'm
Right.
like, "Have you been in the cafe?" And they're like, "Oh, that's true. You don't really need to decorate. It's like oozing of hygge. It oozes of like warm. Let me come and have a hot chocolate. I mean, this morning we baked. I don't know what you would call them. I mean, spiced cheesecake. I would call it a Christmas cheesecake with fresh ginger and nutmeg and cinnamon. So you think a visit to Tivoli and then stopping in the city for a hot chocolate and a cheesecake or something like that. It's pretty Christmas hygge. It's up there high on scale.
Heather, I think we should have done the taping of this show maybe remotely this year.
Yeah, spiced cheesecake is the way to my heart, Skyler.
Oh, it turned out first time I'd done a spiced cheesecake, and it turned out amazing.
It
And
sounds gorgeous.
I was scared to put fresh ginger juice in it directly, and I did it. No, it's really, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
So,
Well,
man.
you sold me. So Skyler, thank you so much for chatting with us today. You
thank
will
you.
be our first stop the next visit we have to
Oh,
Copenhagen.
that is a
So
deal.
in this beautiful city of Copenhagen, you must look up the Next Door Cafe. We will include their address in the show notes, but you can follow them on Instagram at next_door_cafe.
Thank you so much, Skylar, for chatting with us. That was amazing. I'm now hankering after some spiced cheesecake, though. I cannot wait to visit in person.
So much of what we hear about hygge seems to be about reinventing our lived environments to create the hygge lifestyle. But what about when we're traveling? Can we be cozy on the road?
Well, most definitely. I mean, certainly we could visit the Next Door Café, but I came across a whole country of cozy when I was in Ireland, even from the interiors of the Michelin star restaurant Lycaneer in Galway City to even the comfort of our own VRBO rental on the West Coast in this wee little converted schoolhouse. But if it's a hygge hotel you're looking for, in 2020, Gillian Tangent created a list of the most luxurious hygge hotels and resorts in the world.
Excellent. Now you have my attention.
I thought I might. First up is the Caldera House in Wyoming, which is located on the outskirts of the absolutely gorgeous Grand Teton National Park. It has only 8 suites, so very exclusive and small, with a members-only club. It's got wood-burning fireplaces. That always sets the mood. Hot tubs, which you know is a favorite of mine, and fire pits. And their suites have floor-to-ceiling windows. Next, Severin's The Alpine Retreat, which is located in Steubenbach. It is also a boutique resort and part of the small luxury hotels of the World chain. It has just a handful of suites, and they feature a calm wood, stone, and polished metal aesthetic. There's views of the Lech Mountains. Each suite comes with their own terrace with a hot tub. They have private cinemas and a lounge with a grand piano. So a little music in there as
Lovely.
well. I know.
A little of everything. A
little
lot of everything.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last one I want to tell you about is located in Megève, France. Les Fermes du Mari. A little bit bigger, has 70 rooms, all with a natural elements chalet aesthetic, like lamb fleece cushions from Mongolia, exposed beams, and antiques just to cozy it up a little further. And some of the private chalets also have underground access to the main hotel, so you don't even ever need to step foot outside if it's just a little unpleasant.
Wow, these all sound really lovely, like absolutely gorgeous travel destinations. Since I just came back from a trip a month ago, I may have to keep these in my back pocket for the future.
Absolutely. You know, a cozy resort is not always in the budget, so you could always opt for an Udi.
What the heck is an Udi?
You don't
Udi?
know?
Udi.
Udi.
Udi. And I'm afraid to ask.
Yeah, well, be afraid, okay? It is a massively oversized hooded blanket poncho thing. My daughter was gifted one from one of my nieces. They all have their own. It's very cozy, not made for the menopausal, I'm just saying, and almost demands its own closet because it is enormous.
That would be a step up from me wearing my winter coat around the house all the time. Apparently, it makes my family nervous, or so they've told me. I get going somewhere quite a lot.
That's hilarious, Walker.
Yeah. So what do these Udis cost?
Well, they range in price depending on the material that you opt for, and they have a million patterns you can choose from. But they do offer a family bundle, Walker.
Ooh.
Yep.
Good to know, though I can't really see my husband rocking the Udi.
No, me neither, but I would pay to see it, I think. Many of the adult sizes sell for about $89, which is much more affordable than a luxury vacation suite with a hot tub.
It is that. I think it might make me feel a little bit like Obi-Wan Kenobi, though, as well.
Yeah, but there you go. You could add a little entertainment value for your family and over your winter coat.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm resigned to bundling up and staying home for the next few months, but I'm curious. I've always wondered if the cozy lifestyle, which has been embraced in colder climates, also occurs in warmer climates.
Yeah, that's a really interesting question.
Mm-hmm.
People who live in warmer climates, they do crave cozy as well, as many warmer countries also have rainy seasons. So they might not be contending with like the snow and the ice and the extreme chilly temperatures, but they do have that dampness or windiness that creates that same preoccupation with cozy.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that that would be the case, but it makes sense.
Yeah, like even in my recent trip, I can vouch for the coziness of a peat fire and snuggling under an Irish wool blanket with a good book and a cup of tea, even if that sun outside looked very inviting and shining on those chilly Atlantic waves. But it's all relative, right? People wouldn't consider Ireland all that warm in the winter, but we could because compared to Canada, it's perfectly balmy.
Mm-hmm.
Hygge can be achieved in even warmer climates. Just think about carefully prepared picnics on a lovely breezy blanket, farmers markets, which is that peak of cozy together, happy feeling, or warm nights on the porch swing with perhaps a glass of wine or a peppermint tea. Those are all super hygge activities. There's even a luxury condominium complex in St. Croix in the Caribbean called Hygge Caribbean. It has views of lush vegetation, Schooner Bay, and the beautiful surrounding mountains. So I think it's pretty appropriately named, don't you think, Walker?
Absolutely. That sounds delightful. I do think, however, that we would all agree that it's the wintertime that calls for a little more cozy, and maybe at the holidays most of all.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Christmas equals cozy in my house.
So how do you plan on staying cozy this holiday season there, Harris?
Well, I've probably alluded to the fact that I'm a big lover of wool blankets and maybe even more so big wool chunky sweaters. I seem to collect them. There's a little cottage industry actually in Newfoundland called Nonia, and it was established in the 1920s to support residents who live in those very far-flung remote outport communities. And it engages 175 home knitters across the island to create just absolutely stunning cozy sweaters. And I also brought home just recently an Aran sweater from Ireland. So I am going to be super cozy this holiday in my little sweaters, hunkering down under my Icelandic wool blanket.
Well, I have to say, I like your style, and I'm definitely going to have to check out Nonia online.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it sounds like Narnia, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm always freezing cold throughout the winter months, so I am the target market for any products that can help me create a cozy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Beyond what we wear, though, or cocoon in, at the top of my list of things to do is to change my living room lights over to a dimmer, as I find it's too glaring and not the cozy feeling I want going on into the new year.
Lighting does create that cozy atmosphere.
I can't seem to get enough of candles in my life either, and pillows, and I'm a sucker for a good book and calming spa music. Anything lavender, eucalyptus as well. Never enough eucalyptus in my life.
I'm feeling pretty relaxed hearing about your cozy little life over there, Walker.
Yeah, until the dogs start barking, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have that too in my house in stereo. And then the cats start chiming in. I'm always just relieved that the fish stay quiet.
Well, thank goodness for the fish.
Yep.
You know, I always have great intentions to keep it on the calm and cozy during the holidays, but my intentions and reality seldom jive.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. For example, I try to include a lot of movie watching, seasonal music, fires, candlelight, and I love comforting hot foods like soup. And often we have a fondue as well. Actually, I think this is what my plan is going to be for Christmas Eve this year is a fondue.
Ooh, yummy. I love fondue. Chocolate or cheese?
Maybe both.
Ooh.
Even though the month of December is just nuts for us, I always try to purposely slow things down, even with little things. For instance, you know, when I'm making a fire, I don't use a fire log. We try to use logs in kindling. And then when I'm making my tea, I don't go for the bag. I go for the loose tea. Yeah. Mind you, I'll admit when my children were tiny, this was tricky. The holidays were always a blur for me. And maybe some people were able to slow down and create an idyllic, calm atmosphere at Christmas. But at our house, it was always go, go, go.
I know. It's crazy when the kids are small. My kids used to get up at like 3:30 in the morning and be like standing at the top of the stairs, just freaking out, wanting to go down. It was a lot of effort to just cool their jets a bit.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of the Icelandic Christmas Eve tradition called
Yeah, give it a go, Walker.
Yola Nola Float. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. It's a Christmas book flood where family members exchange books and everyone spends the night reading together, essentially, and eating chocolate.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of this tradition. I actually just bought the 5 books a couple of days ago, and I don't put names on them or anything. Everybody just opens one and then you can trade if you find something that you prefer. We've never had any fights over any which ones. So we'll see. Maybe this year will be the first.
I know you don't watch The American Office, but it reminds me of an episode with Michael Scott. And anybody who does watch The American Office will know that episode, The Gift Exchange.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm going to have to
swap
go
their
search
gifts.
it up. I'll have to search it up and watch it. Yeah, no, Christmas Eve has become a really sacred family time in our little house. We hunker down and we just chat and read and eat good, yummy things and put our jammies on early. This year, I'm going to have a hot chocolate charcuterie board.
Ooh,
I know,
that
doesn't
sounds
that
lovely.
Good. It's so cozy.
Take some pictures and send it to me.
I will.
Yeah,
I will. Yeah, it's probably one of my few favorite set of hours in the entire calendar year. So tell me, Walker, you must know of other cozy traditions too, though, right?
In fact, I do. There are so many beautiful and cozy holiday traditions around the world, of course. Europe is famous for its holiday markets like the one that you spoke of in our mini postcard episode, but there are many other traditions that we can learn from. For instance, in Norway, for example, they celebrate Little Christmas on December 23rd, and this is a day they traditionally decorate the tree, eat some hot rice pudding, and have cozy together time. Now, I love this one, though. In rural Denmark, a bowl of rice pudding is left in the barn for gnomes, who are the protectors of the farm. Now, isn't that the sweetest thing ever?
That is so cute. I love gnomes. They're just so cute with their pointy hats and beards. But what's going on with all the rice pudding, Walker? I'm just not a fan.
Good question. But in the Ukraine, the land of my heritage, their cozy food of choice is a traditional dish of wheat, honey, nuts, and poppy seeds. And although my Ukrainian heritage stems from my mom's side, and she and her parents were all born in Canada, you know, our Christmas traditions are more North American in flavor. As I'm getting older, though, I find I'm incorporating more Ukrainian traditions in our Christmas for our family. Traditionally, Ukrainians sit down to a 12-course meatless dinner at Christmas Eve, on Christmas Eve. Yeah, representing the 12 dishes, I guess, are the 12 apostles.
Okay.
And now I can guarantee you I won't be serving 12 courses, but I do try to incorporate some Ukrainian food, including traditional braided bread. And I may very likely order in from some Ukrainian caterers locally to support some small businesses and also free up a little bit of time for me and make it a bit, you know, more stress-free. Mm-hmm. So beyond that, we do celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December, but I do keep our tree up until the 7th of January, which is Ukrainian Christmas Day in the Julian calendar. And probably mainly my family would say, because I get sad when the tree comes down. I'm one of those people. Yeah. So I use my heritage as a bit of a justification to keep it up a bit longer. I love the lights, you know.
Me too.
And, you know, our naked tree is probably the last one that hits the curb in the neighborhood. That's our house. In Germany, though, it's common for families to start the countdown to Christmas early, as they traditionally make Advent wreaths 4 weeks before Christmas with pine branches topped with candles, 4 candles. Each candle is lit on each Sunday leading up to December 25th.
That sounds lovely, but a little bit of a fire hazard.
Well, I think some cultures actually wear them on their head. I've seen videos of
Advent
wreaths, children wearing wreaths with candles.
Really?
Go look that up after.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Finland, a traditional Christmas morning breakfast consists of porridge with rice, cinnamon, and milk. See?
Yeah, more rice pudding.
Yeah, the traditional twist is that one person has a lucky almond buried in their porridge to make them the winner. The Finnish also end the day with a sauna to clear the body and mind and restore positive energy, which would be kind of a neat thing to start the new year with.
Yeah, I am down with the sauna, but I'm really wondering what the winner of the lucky almond wins.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the almond.
Oh.
Who knows? I don't know.
That's exciting.
We'll have to ask somebody. I just love these cozy traditions, though, and the atmosphere, the creation of warm memories, and the sense of safety and security. It's really delicious at any time of the year.
It sure is. So let's put this to rest. Cozy is not just about well-placed woolen throws, scented candles, and reading socks. Cozy is much more. The desire to feel safe, warm, content are all fundamental to the concept of coziness, but we also crave the calm communing with our loved ones and communities. We can create cozy in the comfort of our own homes or seek it out, for example, in our neighborhood cafes. Many purveyors of experience and service now also cater to this human drive for soft and social snuggery. So let's all shelter in this softness and cuddle under our covers. Embrace the comfy, contented concept of cozy. Thank you for joining us at Home and Abroad with your hosts, Harris and Walker. Follow us each week as we continue the conversation.